You're listening to Your Personal Realtor, hosted by Eric McKenna with RE/MAX Advanced Realtors. Content and sponsorship is provided by Eric McKenna, and the show is brought to you by CallEric.com.
And hello, Beaver County, and welcome to Your Personal Realtor with Eric McKenna. I am your host, RE/MAX Advanced Realtor Eric McKenna, and we are here every Saturday from 10:30 to noon. We are live on Facebook, and we've got multiple video cameras here. I am generally here with my co-host. I call him a co-host. He doesn't buy into that whole thing, but my producer slash co-host, Sir, I should say, Sir Frank Sparks. However, Frank is going on a remote. Yes, those little things what radio stations do where they put themselves out into the community and interact with all the great people. They are going to be at the Bridgewater Arts Festival today. I believe it's from 12 to 2, but Frank's got to get out there and set up. So I am actually thrilled that the gentleman chosen to be with me today is such a great guy. I love Bob Fry, man.
This was like a lottery. They just happened to pick my name.
See, I was trying to play along in this little game here that you're my hand-picked selection.
And I found out that all the names in the bag were mine. Good morning, Eric.
How are you, buddy?
I'm doing fine.
Man, thank you for coming in and helping me.
Welcome.
As many people on this show know that I do have a producer for my show, and I've taken upon myself at the nudging of Sir Frank, who's laughing over there right now before he leaves. You gonna say goodbye to people, Frank?
Bye.
Frank's got to go. I'll be learning the board here. Yeah, how about that for a little, enhanced skill? Yeah, I know. So Bob's over there laughing too. But I'll be coming in this week to actually learn the other side of this production, which is the big board. So if Frank is not here or Bob's not available and we're in a pinch, I'll be able to literally, supposedly, possibly, maybe, potentially be able to do the show by myself. Isn't that great? Bob's like, here we go. So anyways, I'll be coming in this week to learn more about this operation down here. I'm pretty thrilled about that. That means I get to bother Frank for 2 days while he does teleforum. And the immediate concern for me to learn the board is that I will be guest hosting teleforum. I don't even know what dates they are. 2 weeks from now. Is that right?
I was going to say, you're going to do it like it because you got to host teleforum.
Yeah, I know. I can't hear him over there. I can't hear Bob.
Oh,
there you go.
Yeah.
Good. This is Sir Frank Sparks, by the way.
I said that you'll have to learn it because you're hosting teleforum when I'm on vacation for a day.
I know. I can't wait. I don't even know. In my head, it's in my book, but I don't have it in my head.
I wish I'd be able to listen. You have to record it for me so I can
hear
it.
I do. But see, check this out. Okay, if I do that for you, will you come in and host Your Personal Realtor for me?
Sure. I don't know anything about real estate, but I'll try. It might be like 2 hours of Bob and I playing music or something, but
okay, so just so my audience understands the direction we're going to go, we're going to be making some slight alterations in the show as we go, as we evolve. And but I'm going to do my darndest to make sure that Sir Frank remains around, not much to his chagrin. He's already a little overworked, but we love him. We love what he does. But thrilled to have Bob Fry in today. I'll tell you why. Bob is the guy who plays the cool music, typically after my show in most weeks. Is that right, Bob?
Solid Gold Saturday.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. So being, I wouldn't say I'm a music aficionado like Sir Bob is over here. However, I do love my music, all kinds of music, for those who know me. And it's always cool to hang around and see what Bob's playing. Now, some of the music dates back to my parents' era. Am I right? It goes back to
50s, 60s,
and 70s. But
there's even some of the 70s stuff that's related into that era. That's nice.
Yeah, that's
early 70s.
So the 50s stuff I think I kind of burned out on when I was a kid because my parents played it all the time. However, the 60s stuff and the 70s stuff, now I am dating myself a little bit, but that's some good stuff. And Bob Fry always delivers. Friends, we have an open forum here today. I'm getting emails. I got emails all week with different questions. We're going to talk about some of those. We are going to answer your calls as we always do. Bob will be able to make sure I get your calls here at 724-843-1888 and 724-774-1888. You think I'll be able to remember those numbers without reading them off of a card, but, habits are what they are. You're listening to 1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA. This is indeed Beaver County Radio, those two stations. Bob, let me make sure I get this right, because Frank always kind of scolds me on this. If I say 1230 WBVP, it's Beaver Falls in Chippewa? Is that
yes.
Can I say that? Is that
sure, yeah.
Okay, and if I say 1460 WMBA, can I say Ambridge and Moon Township?
Sure,
Okay.
definitely.
All right, well, there you are. So Bob provides
Like a cue card.
Yeah, Bob provides me much more information than Sir Frank ever did. I'm learning all the secrets here. Okay, there we go. All kinds of North Swickley Township, Franklin Township. Okay, see the things I learn on this show, friends. We talk real estate every week, and obviously we have a lot of fun with it. We have humor as well. And am I sounding metallic to you, Bob? Is there any feedback on this mic or anything? Is this?
No, not unless that speaker there.
That might be it. You know what, buddy? That might be it. Okay, let me turn it down a little bit. Okay. All right, that's better. Yeah, no, just make sure I'm not squelching. Remember that? Squelching?
Yeah.
A CB radio. I'm not squelching in anybody's ear. We talk real estate every week here. We have a lot of fun. We answer questions. It's been a great opportunity for me personally to connect with so many people in Beaver County and in Allegheny County through the power of Beaver County Radio. What I do want to mention right out the gate is this show is sponsored by my website, which is calleric.com. Again, that's CALLERIC.com. And it's basically all things regarding my practice, how I work, my philosophy on real estate. I am a realtor with REMAX Advanced Realtors, wonderful brokerage. We're located in Swickley, PA. That's where I hang my hat. But I do work all through Allegheny County, Washington, Butler, and, of course, the wonderful county of Beaver. I've been afforded the opportunity over the past, get this, 33 weeks. Yes, this is our 33rd show. Have not missed a week yet. That's just been amazing. You people have enabled this to happen. I've been afforded the opportunity to meet so many of you, even at some remotes that we've done, the Maple Syrup Festival, and I've done 3 remotes. I can't, off the top of my head, can't remember them all. But everybody's been so kind, and I guess I want to start off the show today by just giving a debt of gratitude. This is a special weekend, and we'll get into that in a second. However, you great people have just opened up to me and have just shown me a tremendous amount of kindness, and also, of course, Mr. Beaver County Radio himself, the guy who seems to always be on air, Frank Sparks. It's wonderful to be associated with all these people, but Beaver County residents have been so kind to me, and I have to laugh, Bob. I don't know if you heard this one, but the standing, not joke, but the standing fun line that I use now is, I have never been fed in my entire life like I have been fed by the great people of Beaver through the show who have called me out to talk about real estate. Some have become clients. Some are just asking questions.
Great audience.
Oh, the audience is so
Incredible.
It's incredible, and I'll tell you what, very loyal to the station, very loyal. But man, the food, oh my goodness. And I came from an Italian family and an Irish family, so plenty of food all the time. A little alcohol once in a while.
That's all right. Wash it down.
But to speak directly about the quality of the food and just the generosity, and it's nuts. I'll go meet somebody at 6, and I don't want to take up too much of their time. We plan for about 45 minutes or an hour. I can help them out. If it's just general questions, I end up leaving at 10 o'clock. And by the time I leave, I have all these new friends. It's so rewarding.
That's
and again,
great.
That's one of what I always like to say. What I do believe to be the finest thing about being a realtor is that I get to be with people. For me, that's a big thing. I'm not a guy who likes to be alone very long. I like people. Number 2, I get to engage with people. You hear stories. You get to become involved in their life to whatever capacity they let you. And number 3, it's helping people. And that's the most important. I had posted on Facebook today or yesterday, I'm sorry, a very short but very nice handwritten letter I'd received from a client. And, this isn't about to blow my horn here. The purpose of the post was, again, it's a reminder to me of how special what I do is to me. And I feel blessed because a lot of people do not have a great affinity for what they do. People, and that's why everybody's generally, for the most part, everybody's happy in radio. Bob will laugh over there, but everybody likes what they do. And that's what I do as a realtor. I really enjoy what I do. It's a lot of work. It's hard. I work hard
no
for my
doubt.
clients, but in the end, it's so satisfying. And when I was a young guy, I worked warehouse jobs, and I know the drudgery of life. I've experienced it, But this is just something different and something special. So when you see someone take the time, even if it's 10 minutes, to handwrite you a note about how appreciative they were that their transaction was great and they're on to a different chapter of their life, that's important stuff to me. And
Pays off.
Yeah, I will never take lightly the comments of any client or any potential client. And conversely, I've heard a lot of stories too from people that I've not had the chance to work with. Why at times, realtors don't have always the best reputation. I wouldn't say we're on the same level as attorneys yet, but sadly, there's plenty of realtor jokes out there, and I get that. But I always think those are great opportunities to turn someone's opinion around of what we do and by providing good service. So sorry for the heavy-handed lecture, but that's just what's been going on. I do want to recognize our Facebook crowd. Sarah's on, and Dennis and Stephen. A special send out of love to Stephen Dish, who's visiting his mother down in Florida. I hope everybody's doing great at the Daytona Beach, I believe, but unbelievable. I'm trying to get some feedback here, and I'm wondering if I'm having some trouble with Facebook Live. If I am having trouble with Facebook Live between the breaks, we will reload it and restart it, and hopefully you guys can see me. Facebook Live has been a tremendous part of this show. You can ask questions in a multitude of ways here before we get into our content, friends. You can be, of course, at 724-843-1888 and 724-774-1888, the two most famous numbers in Beaver County. You also can email me at sold@calleric.com. And again, that's sold@calleric.com. And if you're able to get on Facebook Live, which apparently we're not right now, so I will relaunch that. I will. Also, you can ask questions on Facebook Live. So I'm going to take an early break. Can I do that? Because I want to see if I can recorrect or restart this Facebook Live for all of us. This is Your Personal Realtor with your host, Eric McKenna, RE/MAX Advanced Realtor. And after this short break, we will be right back. Hello, friends. This is RE/MAX Advanced Realtor Eric McKenna with CallEric.com and host of Your Personal Realtor, heard every Saturday from 10:30 a.m. to noon on 1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA. I really hope you are enjoying today's show. Friends, did you know that I can be your personal realtor? That's right. If you're looking to list your home or buy a new home, call or text me today at 412-613-4466. That's 412-613-4466. Or send me an email at sold@calleric.com. That's sold@calleric.com. I just love it when listeners become clients. So why not contact me today and let me put my social media advertising to work for you. Together, we can reach your real estate goals. This is your personal realtor, Eric McKenna, with RE/MAX Advanced Realtors and CallEric.com.
Beaver County Radio, 1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA.
Okay, we are back, friends. This is Eric McKenna, your personal realtor, RE/MAX Advanced Realtor here in Western PA. And this is my humble show every Saturday from 10:30 to noon on Beaver County Radio. That's 1230 WBVP in Chippewa and Beaver Falls. And 1460 WMBA in Ambridge and Moon Township. Wonderful. So good to see. Looks like Facebook Live is back. I'm doing my best, friends. I relaunched it. I'm hoping the signal's better. Hey, Ken, how are you? It's good to see all these great people out there. Sarah, I want to mention that I've got a couple sponsors of this show. One of them is the Moon Connects, that's plural, Moon Connects Facebook group. What a tremendous group of people, a very low-key but very well-run Facebook community. Caroline Trunzo and Stephen Dish, if you're out there listening, I just want to thank you for all the love and support, and every member of that group for just being so kind and very open to what I do here. So that's been wonderful, simply wonderful. Hey, Mike, how are you? Facebook's finally filling up here. Looks like we're doing okay. Hi, Jennifer, how are you? To our radio audience, I want to thank you again. I spent the last portion of the show giving some stories about how everybody has been so kind, and I've had the opportunity through this show number 33, I might add. I'm kind of proud of that. I've had the opportunity through this show to meet so many people and come and talk to people about real estate. And when I sat down to do this show many, many moons ago, I was offered this opportunity. I can't say I came up with the idea by myself, although I would like to say that. I cannot. I was given the opportunity on this concept by Mr. Mark Peterson, and it was developed through my good friend, Mr. Beaver County Radio himself, Sir Frank Sparks, and we have developed this show into something I'm quite proud of. It's our own little humble playground of information down here, having just a big bunch of fun, and it's introduced me to not only just a lot of new people, but a new format for my marketing. I'm first and foremost a marketer. That's what I do. I came to real estate from, for those who don't know me, I came into real estate after running a guitar design and marketing company for roughly 15 years. Had a lot of fun. Love the marketing aspect of it, and of course, love the guitars and love the music, of course. But the marketing is my thing, and I really believe that I'm not a salesman. I know people will tend to say realtors are salespeople, or you hear realtors slip, even myself at times. I sold this house, or I sold that house, or whatever. I honestly don't believe that we sell anything. I believe that we are advocates to our clients, our buyer clients. We are bringing them along in the process and giving them solid advice on the important decisions as we move toward closing. It starts from the beginning, from the first inception of meeting the client, all the way through closing, and then beyond. And we'll talk about the beyond in a second. When it's my listing customers, meaning I'm coming to your home to discuss listing your house for sale for whatever multitude of reasons you may have, the marketing part of what I love is how we present this home to the market. And, a lot has changed over the years, especially with the internet. Now, probably in the last 18, 19. It's been 20 plus years of the internet being very vibrant, especially in real estate. So that kind of stuff isn't new. What is new is the method in which, a lot of us embrace the internet and social media and the different things that I will do for my client, which includes not only great photography, but videography. I do drone photography of the property. I do walkthrough videos. I will embrace Zillow and Trulia and all those things, and of course embrace our MLS. But I also run paid advertisements on social media for my customers. And I design the ad, and we run it. It's paid for by me, no expense to my client, and it just brings additional eyeballs. And what's great about Facebook, their targeting is great. We can target the advertisements for the person closest to being the most perfect client that potentially could want to buy your home. And it's been very effective. It's been very good. And to this point, knocking on laminate here, the clients have truly loved it and they've appreciated it. So to everybody out there that I've had the opportunity to work with in the past, thank you very much. And for those who I will meet in the future, I look forward to it, and maybe it will be you. And that will lead me into this section that I can be your personal realtor, friends. not just a show, I can be your personal realtor. Again, I work all throughout Beaver County, Allegheny, Washington, and Butler. I'm also a one-man show, which means that I'm not part of a team and I do not utilize assistants. I got fantastic people with my brokers that are always very helpful to my clients if needed, but I will be your sole point of contact. If you're looking to sell your home for any reason, whether it's you're downsizing, upsizing, maybe you're headed toward retirement, maybe this is your very first home, maybe this is the first time you're selling your first home, moving up. Whatever your reasons are, okay, if you're selling your home, I'd love to talk with you and love to talk with you about the kind of marketing that I do that can separate us from the crowd. The market is great right now. It still doesn't mean that you can just throw your house up without any marketing or inappropriately priced and still expect great results. You need to team up with a great realtor, make sure the pricing is right, make sure the presentation is right, and I'd love to talk to you about that. Again, you can reach me directly on my cell phone number via text or cell phone call at 412-613-4466. Again, that's 412-613-4466. And you can email me at sold@calleric.com. And the last little bit of this promo is, of course, the sponsor of this show is calleric.com, which is my website. And it's a good place I can point you if you just want more information on me or real estate or what we do as a realtor. If you're not ready to make that phone call or you're not ready to engage me yet, that's totally fine. But I would point you to calleric.com. And I'd also like to point you to remax.com as well for a plethora of great real estate information. And that is the great sounds of the Brothers Johnson, which I know is a song that Mr. Bob Fry knows, because Mr. Bob Fry is the music master. You like that song? Yes, he does. Yes, he does. That is my outro music, and we're up against another break. This is your personal realtor, Eric McKenna, with REMAX Advanced Realtors here in Pittsburgh on Beaver County Radio, and we'll be right back.
1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA.
And we're back. Hi, friends. This is your personal realtor, Eric McKenna, on Beaver County Radio, 1230 WBVP. That is Chippewa and Beaver Falls and 1460 WMBA, Ambridge and Moon Township. Love spending the 90 minutes each week with my good friends here at Beaver County Radio and everyone here in Beaver County. This show airs every Saturday from 10:30 to noon. As we know, We're always Facebook Live, although I'm hoping and praying, Bob, that the connection is good over there. I'm not sure. I'm hoping. We had some trouble with Facebook Live earlier that wasn't connecting very well. I'm kind of disappointed in that. But Missy and Tammy and Christian, my great friend Christian Gonzalo, I haven't seen Christian in so long. Good to see you on there, friend. I tried to send out a couple special greetings, and I want to do that. I got some Facebook friends and some Moon Connects Facebook group friends that are actually tuned in today. And I want to send a special little note of love to my good friend Stephen Dish, who is in Florida with his mom visiting. And it's a great weekend to do that. And Steve's in Daytona Beach, I believe. Jimmy Straka is here. I want to commend everybody who ran in the Pittsburgh Marathon this past week. You are all braver and stronger people than I, without a doubt. And there's just some fierce competitors that I've gotten to know just in my own area. Sarah Majetic, and I think Stephen Dish ran it too. And I'm probably forgetting a lot of people. Officer Litterini, my good friend Rob in Coriopolis, police officer, I know tries to run and do these kind of events as well, marathon or Ironman events. And it's just amazing the strength and endurance it takes to do that. So anybody that does that. As a matter of fact, I was listening on the way in today. Did you get a chance to listen this morning at all, Bob?
No, I was at work here this morning.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. Darn it, there was a triathlon event, I think, that Frank and Greg had a local gentleman on. They were discussing today, and they were saying that there was a participant that finished the triathlon, and I think that brave woman was like 74 years old, or 75 years old. So my goodness gracious, I mean, that's some dedication there for sure.
No doubt.
But absolutely indeed. So we're also sponsored on this show by my good friend Matt Pia. That I was going to try to lasso him in today, but Matt, if you watch this show or you listen to this show, is one of the finest, if not the finest, home inspector, in my opinion, in the Valley. And Matt comes on the show quite often and takes calls and inquiries about home inspections. That's what he does with his company, Division 9 Inspection Group. Matt's number is not handy to me, which I know that's not being a good friend, but I'll get that and give it to you. But the best way to reach Matt is Division, and then the number 9 inspection.com. And again, that's Division, the number 9 inspection.com. If you feel you want a home inspection, even if you're not selling, you have questions about your house, or you feel Matt might be able to answer some questions for you, he's just that kind of guy. Reach out to Matt. Tell him I sent you. Tell him your personal realtor, Eric McKenna, sent you. And he will definitely help you. What a great guy. I'm also sponsored here on this show by Ms. Leslie Raymond from Union Home Mortgage. She's phenomenal, and we're going to talk a little bit about the team here in a second. As a buyer, obviously, we've talked about listings already, but as a buyer, there's definitely services that I bring to my clients, just as any what I would consider to be good realtor would do. One of the things that I try to employ with my buyer clients, whether they're a first-time home buyer, whether it's a repeat customer of mine that we're working on their second or their third sale, or even if it's let's say a senior citizen that's going to be moving or downsizing, whatever. What I like them to do what I want them to do is put their trust in me fully. And the reason I say that is while the buyer always retains the complete rights to do everything that and can make and pull all the strings and dictate to everyone involved how they're going to go along this process. They have that right. I asked them to trust in me to let me help them find great people in this business. And what I mean by that is, if you're buying a home, we're going to look for a good mortgage company. I've got mortgage companies I work with that are great. Trust my referrals. Okay, I got one in particular. I think she's phenomenal. Not a good fit for everybody, and I look at the person's scenario, my client's scenario, and personalities and so forth, and we move them around. But the overall message is, and we'll on the other side of the break, we'll get to that. But the idea is trust your realtor. Trust the concept that you're hiring someone to be your number one advocate and to make your life easier as you set out on this journey to buy a house. You know what? Bring your realtor with you. Let your realtor become part of that journey. That's what it's all about, friends. We're going to get there together all the way to closing together. We'll talk about that on the other side of the hour. That was our first segment, and we're up against it here, Bob. Is that right? All right, so friends, you're listening to 1230 WBVP in Beaver Falls and Chippewa, and 1460 WMBA in Ambridge and Moon Township. And now it is time for Town Hall News. we are back. That's the very, very cool sounds of Eric Clapton and the song Forever Man, which is the intro to Your Personal Realtor with Eric McKenna, yours truly. Every Saturday here from 10:30 to noon on Beaver County Radio. We're back for segment 2, and we're going to pick up right where we left off. We were talking a little bit about my belief in that if you're going to utilize a realtor, I implore my clients to put their faith in me. I think it's always very important, and understand that this journey we're setting on together to locate a home, visit homes, find your dream home, hopefully your dream home, whether it's your first, knowing that it will be many more to come, or this is your indeed dream home, or this is your retirement home, whatever it is. We come under agreement, of course. Then we go through inspections, and then go through the mortgage process. Then there'll be an appraisal, and then we'll bring the closing company. And actually, from the beginning, with the closing company, always working behind the scenes, and then we move to the closing. Lots of moving parts. What my job is as your realtor, number one, is to demystify real estate, and that's kind of the purpose of this show, believe it or not. That was a good portion of what Mark Peterson talked to me about that first afternoon we sat down to discuss it. And the other part of what I do is to be your advocate, and certainly, I don't like to use this word, but defend your rights, because I do that, but I protect your rights and your interests. I put your interests as my client at the forefront at all times, and that goes through negotiations of not just the sale price of the house, but the conditions or any contingencies we have, and all through inspections and all the way through closing. So what I'm asking my clients to do in general is trust me. And the reason I ask that is I've done this a few times. It's not my first rodeo, like most good realtors. We've been around the block a few times. We've seen things that work great, and we've also seen things that don't work very well. So, I like to think that everybody does a great job. Everyone that's involved in the process of buying a home or selling a home. But some do it better than others. How about that? I'll remain on my positive stance that everybody does an acceptable job. Sort of. but some do an exceptionally great job. And what I like to do for my buyers is make sure they're connected with a great local, preferably local mortgage rep, to not only get a great rate and great terms, but someone that's going to service their loan, somebody who can actually sit down across the desk and look eye to eye and take your application and talk to you and answer your questions about your loan. It's a very important component. And the other portion of that would be, I would ask you to put your trust in me helping you secure a great home inspector, whether it's Matt Pia or a handful of others that I've worked with great that just do a great job. I'd like you to steer you, steering is a terrible word, apologize. Steering is a no-no word to use in real estate. Steering has a lot of negative connotations. Let me rephrase that. I didn't mean it in a negative way, but I would like to recommend or suggest or implore you to use somebody wonderful. And hopefully I can find you or help you find someone wonderful to consider using. That's a better way. The verbal gymnastics that you have to go through at times here, huh? But, and of course, the other part of it here is the importance of picking a great closing company. And oftentimes, I think the closing company is kind of an afterthought, and it really shouldn't be. I think a lot of attention is paid to picking a great realtor. Hopefully you do. Hopefully I have that opportunity. But if it isn't me, I just want you to be with somebody great, And from that point, you pick a great lender. You hopefully pick somebody local that you can go down and you can talk to and do your application. And because, again, you want that local feel, and you also want that local person to be able to reach your realtor, to reach you, to work directly with underwriting at the mortgage company if anything would come up, And you want that mortgage company to also be connected with a great closing company. So choosing a great closing company is another benefit of working closely with your realtor, because you want a closing company that's going to tie all these loose ends together. They're going to get the lien letters. They're going to chase us agents down to make sure that we're getting everything to them in a very prompt fashion. And that's good, because there's a lot of moving parts. And they're going to ensure that you close on time. And as a buyer, you get to choose the closing company. So it's very important. So what I overall want to implore everybody is, pick a great realtor and then trust in them and trust in the referrals. And what I mean by that, again, is whether it's a mortgage company, home inspector, appraiser, and sometimes, you may get into a circumstance where You might get into inspections, and there could be a negotiation where the seller is agreeing to fix a couple things, and maybe you're going to fix a couple things. It could be part of the negotiated settlement. You may indeed have an opportunity to use a contractor or two, and your realtor has worked with many contractors. Trust them. Look for them. They're going to take care of you. A great realtor is going to take care of their client and put their client in touch with great service people, including the mortgage and the inspection, contractors if necessary, and of course the closing company itself. So again, trust in your realtor. Now, friends, if you hear cars going by and you hear buses going by, it's because generally when I come into the studio, it is as hot as the sun. And today it was actually refreshing, Bob. It is. Yeah, refreshing.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, and so they opened the windows on me, so that's created a little bit of ambient noise in the background. The other aspect is I wanted to ask Bob, you're down here in Beaver County. You reside down in Beaver.
I'm in Harmony Township.
Okay, you're in Harmony.
Area.
So obviously I'm up by the airport area, and the 9/11
Air Force.
Yes, the Air Force up there is having a air show this weekend. Could you hear any of the sonic booms from those jets down here at all yesterday?
Yesterday, I didn't really hear, but I saw two Gigunda planes flying over Ambridge around 8th Street, and they were extremely low, and I was wondering, I'm not sure what's happening here, but I did see them.
Well, to me, and again, everybody's got a different interpretation. I understand that the booms are pretty loud. I mean, I'm right by the airport there, by Coraopolis and Moon Township, and Swickley. It's where I kind of roam during the day. As I work and go about my business. However, I will tell you, it was impressive. It was really impressive. I felt like I was getting my own personal air show without going to the air show because now, of course, the dogs were freaked, of course, but it was so cool. Yeah, now that to me, and I'm a pro-America guy. That's a very patriotic thing. That's the sound and the visions of freedom there for me. But I just wondered if you could hear them down here because, boy, some of those booms were. And it's funny, the plane will go over and you won't really hear anything. You'll see it, or you'll hear a little bit. And then like a couple seconds later, you'll hear the rush, the boom. And it's just, I find that stuff good. That's a little kid in me, I guess.
Yeah, I was curious. I was at the donut shop at that time, and I saw them flying over, and I just happened to step out onto the street and looked, and I've never seen planes that low, especially that big.
Oh, well, here's my challenge. If anyone's on Facebook Live at the show or anybody's, I don't know why you'd be trying to listen to me and be at that show. I don't even think you could compete there. But if anybody's there and wants to check in, I'd love to hear how that's going because that's pretty cool. And I know we haven't had it every year. I think it's been cut back a couple years, or they started leapfrogging. One year we had it, one year we didn't. I think it was over budget cuts or a different administration. Or I don't know what the reason was. Don't know. Don't care. But it's kind of nice that it's back.
Yes.
It's kind of nice that it's back. So, whew, I'll tell you. I got a couple questions here from some listeners. I got two texts here. I want to address this real quick. We spent some time a couple weeks back talking about pets, and I do love to talk about pets in real estate because there's always a misconception if people worry, well, I have a pet, I'm selling my house, no one's going to buy my house because I have a pet. And I like to try to disarm people right away. Most Americans, by the vast majority, most households have pets. And it's those who don't have pets that are in the minority, demographically of homeowners. So don't panic, number one. Number two, of course, I always suggest that it's imperative that whether it's your realtor, whether it's a family member that doesn't live in the house, a friend, a neighbor, you need to get real. And Diane asked a question. So Diane, thank you very much, by the way. She's talking about cats in particular, but let me open it up a little more broad than that. You need to get an independent voice into your home, and you need to find out exactly what's going on smell-wise with your home. Now, I live with two big dogs. We all love them to death, and thank goodness for us, we have an older house with hardwood floors. We don't have carpeting, so the dogs, it's easier to maintain these dogs because they're in, they're out. You know how dogs are. They come in for 5 minutes, and they want to go back out again 5 minutes later. So very versed on that, so is everybody else in my family. But the issue is, if I was going to sell my house tomorrow, the first thing I'd do is I would start bringing in friends and family, people that don't live there, and I just want to know, honestly, does our house smell like dog? And to what degree does it? And what rooms do and what rooms don't? These are the things that you need to do if you're getting ready to list your house or thinking about selling your house and you have concerns. that it may not show well because of pet smells. You just need to, you're going to get acclimated, friends. It's like this, on a very much more harsh way. I can tell you as a child, I grew up in a non-smoking house, but I had relatives that smoked like, for lack of a better phrase, like fiends. I mean, chain smoked. So when I would go visit them, it'd be just terrible, and I'd say to my relatives, and I'd say, hey, it smells so bad in here. Well, they couldn't smell it. I mean, when you're a lifelong smoker or a smoker for, you really can get acclimated to certain smells, even something as pungent as tobacco, So again, what you need to do is get an independent voice. And and this comes back to, one of the more touchier subjects of real estate or being a realtor, and that is being frank with my customers. And there's a lot of ways to be truthful with people. There's a lot of ways to be tactful with people. And I like to make sure that, I realize that we all have our feelings and we all have our attachments to our animals, which is great. But at the same time, as your realtor, it's my job to let you know if there's any, and I hate this word, but any deficiency in the property that I see before we list, and so we can address it. So don't even take your realtor's complete word for it. Go out there and get your neighbors, and ask them point blank, getting ready to list my house, worried about my animals. Just be honest, be humble and be honest, and get opinions, and realize that a lot of them are going to lie to you because they don't want to hurt your feelings. But in regards to dogs versus cats, look, I don't know. Dogs shed, some cats shed. I will tell you my experience as a realtor, dog refuge, dog urine and all that seems to be a little easier to clean than cat urine. Cat urine seems to be once they get pungent. Good word, Bob. Once they do their thing, it's very difficult to get it out. So, there's always a stereotype about, you go to the listing and there's 12 cats in there. Yeah, there's going to be a problem. But, if you have one animal and you take care of it, or two or three, and you take care of them, great. Understand that everybody does. So it doesn't mean that there's going to be buyers coming to your house to view that don't like animals. The odds are likely in your favor that they will have pets too. What we want to do is minimize the appearance of your pets being there, if possible, okay? And we also want to make the pet residence that they're doing in your home, the fact that you have a pet, we want to make that minimal in a way that it's not offensive. So we want to address odors and smells. We definitely want to address any stains if at all possible. Want to do that as well. So, Diane, the roundabout answer to your question is no, do not panic at all. If you want to talk to me after the show about this, I'd be glad to. Again, I am your personal realtor, Eric McKenna. You can reach me on my cell at 412-613-4466. Call or text. Be glad to discuss it in detail. But don't panic. But be honest and be cognitive of the fact that it is an issue. And I guess, again, I'll reiterate that part of listing your home, if you haven't done it before, try it. You'll understand. Part of listing your home is you need to have a good level of humility. And I mean that even if you take care of your house impeccably and you don't have any kids and you don't have any hobbies and you don't have any animals and the place looks like a good housekeeping magazine, showplace. Even then, you need to be humble enough to understand that there are always certain things that are not going to appeal to certain people. You could have the best house on the block and, it could be impeccable in your eyes. There's always going to be people to find things. So, again, be humble enough to understand that and be humble enough to say, hey, I'll take the criticism where it comes so I can make my house better and I can get on to getting this house sold and get on to the next chapter of my life. Humility is such a big thing. And, not just with realtors, we need to do it too. As I sit here with my own radio show, right? Humility, right? No, but in all seriousness, we need to do that as realtors, but we ask our clients too to really be introspective when we're listing a property, and that especially goes with pets. So I hope, Diane, that was a help to you, and we'll get on to a couple more audience participate. Oh my goodness, participatory? It's been a bad day here. Audience participation questions right after the break. This is your personal realtor, Eric McKenna, on Beaver County Radio, and we indeed will be right back. Hello, friends. This is RE/MAX Advanced Realtor Eric McKenna with CallEric.com and host of Your Personal Realtor, heard every Saturday from 10:30 a.m. to noon on 1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA. I really hope you are enjoying today's show. Friends, did you know that I can be your personal realtor? That's right. If you're looking to list your home or buy a new home, call or text me today at 412-613-4466. That's 412-613-4466. Or send me an email at sold@calleric.com. That's sold@calleric.com. I just love it when listeners become clients. So why not contact me today and let me put my social media advertising to work for you. Together, we can reach your real estate goals. This is your personal realtor, Eric McKenna, with RE/MAX Advanced Realtors and CallEric.com. Pets, 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 pets. You know, Bob, people love their pets. They love their pets. Nothing wrong with that at all. Friends, hey, you're listening to Your Personal Realtor, Eric McKenna, with RE/MAX Advanced Realtors, and you're listening to this humble show, which is on Beaver County Radio every Saturday from 10:30 to noon. We have a bunch of fun here. We have our Facebook Live audience. Hopefully it's working. I know we've had some trouble today with the signal strength on Facebook Live. Hopefully we're okay. I won't know that. I see people coming in and waving and talking, so hopefully we're okay. To acknowledge Cindy, my good friend Cindy Ziani. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Good to see Kristen as well. We just got done talking a little bit about the importance of pets and minimizing or mitigating any potential pet odors and things like that. We won't get back into that. But again, Diane, thanks for the contact, and thank you for the question. We have the question here from Ray. Ray asks about the importance of the quality of the gutters on the house. Apparently he has an older home. He said the gutters look dingy and dirty and has some wiffle ball bat dents in there. So I'm hoping those wiffle ball bat dents were put in by children. Hey, Jeremy. It's good to see Jeremy and Tony Brown checking on Facebook Live. Thank you so much. So, again, Ray is asking about gutters, and it's a good question. You know, I think I've dented enough gutters in my day, whether it was backing into them in cars when I was a kid or, hitting wiffle balls against the side of the house. I can't say I ever beat one with a wiffle ball bat. Maybe Frank did. I asked Frank about that, but I didn't do that as a kid. But he did say there were some good-sized dents there. And I want to talk about gutters for a second because gutters are, again, believe it or not, kind of overlooked when it comes to homes. And I'm a big stickler of having great gutter maintenance. I say that as I have one corner of my own home that needs the gutters cleaned out. But as a realtor, I will tell you it's imperative. What I've learned from Matt Pia over the years of working with Matt when he does inspections is just how important gutter maintenance is in regards to the drainage of the water correctly, not only off of the house, but off of the property. And you'd be amazed at how many gutter problems and gutter clogs and overflowing water from gutters has caused water damage in a house. It just didn't need to be there. I mean, all of us panic at times, like, when we have water issues in the house or we have water in the basement, or as a realtor, you walk in and you see a property that may have a wet basement or a wet corner or something. And there could be multiple reasons why that's happening. You might need a French drain or a sump pump. It's possible. You might just need some landscaping, to have the property landscaped correctly so the water flows away. But believe it or not, we also find people that thought they were sunk I'm really in a bad way here. This is going to be an expensive repair. We can't get rid of this water. And we take a hard look at it, and all of a sudden we just look straight up the house, and we see a damaged or a clogged gutter where the water just runs off. I mean, just runs. Well, naturally, if the water's not being channeled the correct way, as it was intended to be, in a very efficient manner, and it runs over the side of the house, you're going to have water collect on the ground, and it's going to be a good possibility, depending on your foundation and depending on how much water runs over the side of that gutter, you're going to have some problems. So, Ray, to answer your question, yes, aesthetically, you want your gutters to be in good shape. If nothing else, it's not a big expense typically. Gutters aren't, we're not talking major money here, generally speaking. But if you're going to leave the dents, I'd at least have you power wash it and clean the gutters up as best as possible aesthetically. But the bigger concern for me would be, do you really understand how well or how effective your gutters are actually working up there? So you need to get up there and clean them out. Friends, I'm not a big fan of gutter covers, gutter screens. I think there was a company called Gutter Shields, I don't know enough about them. I had them on a home I had many years ago. I had a gutter helmet was what I had. And it seemed to be okay for a period of time, but then it clogged. And the company came out and fixed it, but it didn't seem to solve the problem. And I've known people that have just put simple screens in there, which is a great idea if you are willing to commit to going up there once a season and cleaning the screens off. And oftentimes people put the screens in and they think they're finished. So the screens obviously get clogged and you have water running over the side or not running over efficiently. I had a client recently that bought a house, and we had the gutters checked for something called ice damming, which is an example of, and I learned this actually from Matt Pia from Division 9 Inspection. The gutters were clogged so bad that over the winter, as the snow would come and go, that right where the gutter would fill with ice and other debris, snow would remain. Even as the weather would warm up a little bit, that snow and ice would sit there. So from the gutter to maybe about 3 or 4 feet up the slant of the roof, a big pile of ice would just sit there. And as you can imagine, water sitting stagnant on a roof over a period of time is going to penetrate the structure. It just is. Luckily, in this circumstance, it was very minimal, some minimal water stains. We had the roof checked out. There wasn't really any structural issues with the roof, which was wonderful. Great news. We were glad to hear that. But that ice damming was something that could have been simply corrected had the gutters just been cleaned on a regular basis. And the other little part about the gutters, Ray, I'll mention to you, is it's important that the gutters are sloped correctly. Now, this isn't rocket science stuff here. I mean, water flows downhill as a bunch of other things do as well, but gravity plays a part in it. And it's important that, the gutters are sloped in a manner correctly along the side of the house in their installation so that everything is running seamlessly. If over time, the old style gutters, if you ever saw those, they have the very long nails that actually nail in there. That's the older style. At times, a portion or a side of the gutter may sag. And if it sags, you all of a sudden may lose the slope. And now you have water just collecting, almost in a level fashion. And you throw some debris in there, and it's just going to overflow. So sloping correctly, without a doubt, having them cleaned. And again, I'm not going to endorse any particular product to use as a cover there. I hear good and bad from both. I just say if you just want to clean them once or twice a season, you or hire somebody as a professional, because if you're going up on a ladder, I would always recommend a professional if you are uncomfortable. But just having them cleaned correctly. So the functionality is one component. Ray, to your question on the aesthetics, yeah, I mean, if it really is beat to you-know-what, you may want to replace that section of gutter for sure and make sure it matches. There's a bunch of different colors out there, so make sure it matches. The other part about gutter drain off and water drainage, gutter drainage and water runoff. How about that? That I want to talk about, and I'm not an engineer and I'm not even a home inspector, but just be very careful about where the water is running out I don't think most municipalities are in favor anymore, or counties for that matter. I'm not even sure. I can't speak to where the regulation is. But I will tell you that most municipalities are not keen at all about rainwater running off into the sewer system. And that's why you'll see all the elbows now. And that started many, many moons ago, I think, almost 15, 20 years ago. And it's understandable. That rainwater puts such a drain on the sewage system. So be careful about what you are and what you are not allowed to do. Speak to your realtor, and your realtor gets your information for your municipality and your county. But I just think it's a good idea in general, to be honest with you. I don't mind the L's coming down and draining, 5 to 7 feet off the way from the house. I don't mind that at all. I'd rather have that than trust a terracotta pipe on a 100-year-old home to have that rainwater go down, and that terracotta pipe is now, number one, not broken, and number two, it's not clogged, and trusting that pipe to be able to handle a big downpour of water at one time. I'd rather have it drain off into the yard just for a safety standpoint. And I understand why it's necessary and why they don't want it going directly into the sewer. But as a homeowner, I would just trust it dissipating out into the yard as long as it's, a good distance away from the house. I know aesthetically people don't like it. They don't like the elbows. They would rather have it drain into the old sewer drains. But if it's not, the law is the law, number one. Number two, just, considering how old, again, that sewer drain might be underground. If it's clogged and congested, and we get like a torrential downpour lasts a couple hours, that's gonna back up and flow over, and where that flow over is right next to the corner of your home generally. So dissipating that water out into your yard is very important. So there's the aspects, Brad, about the gutters. I hope that is of some help to you. If not, by all means, you can reach me, your personal realtor, Eric McKenna, directly at 412-613-4466. Again, that's 412-613-4466. Be glad to help you any way I can. I can be your personal realtor. This show, as always, is sponsored by my website, calleric.com. I welcome everybody to take a little gander there. And if you want to find more information about the work I do in real estate, it's a good place to start. And without a doubt, the response and hit counts have grown on calleric.com just remarkably since our show started. And I owe the listening audience here in Beaver County on Beaver County Radio all the credit for that, and our Facebook Live audience as well. So, how are we doing on time here, my friend?
Good. We're at 11:34.
See, I'll tell you what, Bob's got this smooth delivery. Frank, and I love Bob because Bob is tuned in here. Frank, this guy's like, I'm kind of liking Bob's handling of my show, Frank, if you're listening out there. But no, Frank's crazy because I have so much fun with him too, Bob. But Frank seems like he's always doing 10 things at one time, because of the role he has here. Right. So I'm looking over and he's watching a news broadcast, he's taking notes, and he's checking our Facebook Live, and he's trying to answer a phone call, and it's a lot of work. So, but it's always good to have the one and only Bob Fry behind the big board for my show. Bob, it's a treat for you to be here today, and I appreciate it, my friend. Just so you know, I appreciate your work. I really do. And I appreciate the music that this man plays too. And it's generally right after close to after my show. What time? What time?
12:30.
12:30. Because I think we go. There's a Lincoln Park. Is that right? Lincoln Park goes
Learning
from
Solutions.
That's right. Lincoln Park Learning Solutions goes from noon to 12:30, and then Bob's in. That's right. You've done that, and that's on for today as well too, right?
Pardon me?
You're on today, right?
Oh, yes.
You're not being preempted or anything.
No.
Okay. Our producer, Sir Frank Sparks, is at a remote today, and I am told this remote is the Bridgewater Arts Festival. Am I right, Bob?
Yes.
Okay. And I am also told, Frank, if you're listening, Frank is going to call in and do a little promo and tell you a little bit about this event here. I want to welcome that opportunity on my show as well today. So I'm going to ask my producer, Bob Fry, can we go to a break now? Is that possible?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Friends, I need some water. I'm a little talked out at the moment, and my voice is a little scratchy. So you're listening to your personal realtor, Eric McKenna, RE/MAX Advanced Realtor, and we'll be right back. Hello, friends. This is RE/MAX Advanced Realtor Eric McKenna with CallEric.com and host of Your Personal Realtor, heard every Saturday from 10:30 a.m. to noon on 1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA. I really hope you are enjoying today's show. Friends, did you know that I can be your personal realtor? That's right. If you're looking to list your home or buy a new home, call or text me today at 412-613-4466. That's 412-613-4466. Or send me an email at sold@calleric.com. That's sold@calleric.com. I just love it when listeners become clients. So why not contact me today and let me put my social media advertising to work for you. Together, we can reach your real estate goals. This is your personal realtor, Eric McKenna, with RE/MAX Advanced Realtors and CallEric.com. And with the courtesy of my producer today, Bob Fry, that is Eric Clapton, my intro music. And friends, you are listening to Your Personal Realtor with Eric McKenna. That would be me. RE/MAX Advanced Realtor out of Swickley. I work in Allegheny, Butler, Washington, and the wonderful county of Beaver. So great to be with you here today. A little tongue-tied, but doing well. Again, we're here every Saturday from 10:30 to noon on Beaver County Radio. That's 1230 WBVP in Beaver Falls and Chippewa and 1460 WMBA, Ambridge and Coriopolis. Absolutely great to be here. Friends, we talked about a lot of subjects today. Cats, dogs, listing your homes, talking about gutters. Final question I want to address here today briefly comes from Billy James. Billy, I appreciate it. And Billy has some concerns about the roof on his home. And I'm trying to read the email as I see it, Billy. I'm hoping I'm answering this correctly. How much? It's a pretty simple question. I think he's asking me, how much can I expect to lose in my sale price with a roof that's 30 years old? So again, that is a very wide and broad question. So I would tell you this, just to speak generally about roofs. Roofs are a major component of a home. That goes without saying. We can sit and argue, and you can put 10 realtors in a room and ask them all what they think the number one component is in a home. And you'll get 10 different answers probably. But I think the roof is up there with one of the most important. And I will tell you point blank that as a seller, I think you do want to have a house that basically shows well, of course, but also is structural, has structural integrity, and without a doubt has a good roof. Now, a good roof could be a 15-year roof. It could be a 20-year roof. You know, just because the age of you have a certain age in a roof does not necessarily mean that it's in bad shape. But it certainly means that you want to get it evaluated. And that is what my good friend Matt Pia at Division 9 Home Inspection does, as all good home inspectors do. Matt takes a drone up there. He has gotten on roofs. I've seen Matt get on some very obtuse roofs as well, but it's much safer. And believe it or not, there's certain attributes of drone photography and video when it comes to roofs that a human can't even do. So, Matt goes up there and he takes a very, very good look and estimate at the roof. And then the other part of a roof evaluation is you need to get in that attic, and hopefully you have attic space. Boy, those motorcycles were loud, I'll tell you, weren't they? Holy smokes. This is what you get with this is local radio, friends. We got the windows wide open here because it's, number one, it's so nice. And number two, the air conditioning's not on. So we got some background noise. Those Harleys almost rode me out of my seat there. Pretty cool stuff. But you want to get inside the house and take a look at the roof as well. You want to look at the underneath structure, and you want to make sure that the joists are good, and you definitely want to check for water and so forth. Now, those are the general inspection issues on a roof. Okay, now it's almost impossible for me to tell you here, Billy, exactly what your discount or what you'd have to take off of a roof. I mean, I don't know the size of your home. I don't know the pitch, meaning I don't know at what angle your roof is at. Generally, the steeper the pitch, the more costly the labor is. That's what my findings have been working with roofers over the years. I don't know what kind of roof you have. Is it composite? Is it a slate roof? Is it a metal roof, for goodness sake? I mean, there's metal is coming back, but there's a lot of older metal roofs that are still out there. And I notice these things as a realtor when I drive around. I would never have paid attention to them many, many moons ago. But when you're a realtor, you try to pay attention to it quite a bit. But a lot of variables in your question there. But generally speaking, it is a very, very good idea to pay careful attention to your roof if you're getting ready to sell a house. I spend a good amount of time talking about the importance of a seller disclosure to anyone listing their homes. And of course, as a realtor, that's one thing we cannot help you with. You need to sit down. We can answer general questions that you have, but you as the homeowner will sit down and fill out, currently I think it's a 9-page document, and it basically outlines everything that you have knowledge of about your home. Not only things that you have done, improvements or modifications, but also your knowledge of the history of the home, just so you can give the buyer the very best and very latest information about the condition. Now, in that seller disclosure, a very important section is the roof. And I will tell you, as a agent for buyers, hey, Kristen Blackstone, one of my favorite people, is on Facebook Live. Thank you for tuning in, Kristen. I will tell you, as an agent that works with a lot of buyers as well, when we're out looking at homes, I really pay close attention, obviously, to the seller disclosure that homeowner has left for any potential buyers. And I'd like to think everybody does a great job and does their best and does their due diligence to give as accurate as possible. But I also take a hard look at that roofing section, and when you see the word unknown there, that's a very honest answer. But that unknown is a big unknown, and that's an area that we're going to have to make sure that we get our inspector in there and take a look at that. And I will tell you this, if you're listing a house, getting as much information on that seller disclosure, obviously, in general, is a great point. But if you can get an age of that roof, or you can get some information, it really makes an easier process for the buyer if they're putting in an offer. You want to be, as a seller, as forthcoming as possible on these disclosures. It's imperative. Yes, they're going to get a home inspector anyways. Generally speaking, the far majority of buyers who buy homes do hire a home inspector after they come under agreement. So as a seller, a home inspection is coming. But if there's any way to research how old that roof is, and you can get some information that's certain and accurate, that you believe to be accurate, please share that. It's important. The saying unknown doesn't help us a lot, and that may actually hurt you a bit if you're waiting for buyers. That's a concern, especially with young home buyers, or you have a first-time home buyer. The roof is a big cost on any house. It can range anywhere on a small bungalow, to $3,000, and on a larger home can go all the way up to $20,000, $25,000, $30,000. And on your, even your bigger homes, it's you can imagine where it goes, depending on the kind of roof it is and what's involved, and how's the substructure, how's the condition of the joists, the pitch of the roof, the materials used. You can run into some serious money. So as a young home buyer or a first-time home buyer that may be on a very tight budget, the roof is a big unknown to them. And if you as a seller don't have any information for them on the condition, the age, or, has there been any leaks, that's going to be a big red flag. You may not get the offer you want as a seller. And that's a shame, because the house might be a great fit for them, but your lack of being able to uncover any information on that roof could hurt you. So again, I can't give you real dollars. I wish I could, Billy, but I would just tell you as a home seller. And if you want to, again, Billy, and anyone in general who has questions on real estate, if you want to contact me directly, you absolutely can do that. This is Eric McKenna with RE/MAX Advanced, your personal realtor, and you can reach me at 412-613-4466. Again, 412-613-4466. Call or text me. Be glad to discuss that. And Billy, by all means, give me a call if you have any questions. I'll be glad to come and take a look at your property. Hey, the worst we can do is we get a roofer in there, a good solid, well-referenced roofer in there to give you their opinion and take a hard look at it. You want to know. You want to be informed. If you have a property that you're getting ready to sell, without a doubt, you want to provide the most complete information on the seller disclosure, the most publicly disclosed document in regards to your home as you possibly can. Again, it's imperative as a seller. You want to be honest, open, and forthright. And if you just don't know some things, that's okay too. But we're talking about roofs here and the potential negative effect it is on the amount of money you get for your home if your roof is in need of repair or if it's old. And again, that does not necessarily mean there's a roof problem. Okay, again, you want to get that checked out as well. And as your realtor, I can help you do that. But, roofs. I get dizzy thinking about them, Bob. I'm not personally great on ladders, and I've unfortunately had to go do my fair share of gutter cleaning in my life and get up on the roofs. And there's a whole other section we can get into, the chimney and the flashing. A lot goes on to a roof. It's the whole picture. And the chimney is another great part of your home that is going to need some attention if you're going to list, and you want to indeed make sure it's in great condition, that it's water sealed correctly. A lot goes into it. So, I wouldn't recommend someone that doesn't really know roofing to get up there and start jumping on a roof with a ladder and trying to fix things yourself. Now, don't get me wrong. YouTube videos are great. I've learned a lot of things on YouTube as well. It's wonderful. But when you're dealing with a roof, I always say hire a professional. I've just growing up in the area that I can think of a guy named Hamilton Hope, great roofer. Zeke and Sons, great roofer out in the airport area. These are and there's a multitude of more, great roofers out there, guys that will take care of you, gals too, that they're professionals. And, it's one of these things in life. I'm all for learning how to do new things, and I'm all for taking the initiative to try things. I am. But when it comes to the quote unquote heavy things of life, it's so much better. Your life is it's just a better way to live. It's a better way to live if you hire a professional. It just is. And I know that I try in my senior years here to remember that when I get a little frisky and think I'm going to learn something new and take it upon myself to take an unnecessary risk. Hire a professional, get things done right. And again, Billy, I hope that helps you with your roofing information. Can't tell you how much you'd suffer financially, but you would suffer. So if I can help you, give me a call as well. This is your personal realtor, Eric McKenna. We're winding up our 90-minute show. It's been too much fun. Bob, why is it every time every time I have Bob Fry as a host, the show goes like that? Snap of a finger. Unbelievable. Thank you for the fine job back there today, sir. I appreciate it very much. I appreciate our Facebook Live audience, and of course, I appreciate the wonderful people in the listening audience and the loyal listeners of Beaver County Radio, 1230 WBVP, Beaver Falls and Chippewa, and 1460 WMBA in Ambridge and Moon Township. And we'll be right back.
Beaver County Radio, 1230 and 1460.
And we're back. Friends, thank you so much. This has been a very enjoyable show today. This is show number 33 of Your Personal Realtor with Eric McKenna, and that would be I. How about that for some accurate grammar there, Bob? Friends, we're here every Saturday from 10:30 to noon on Beaver County Radio. I am your host, Eric McKenna, a realtor, a very proud realtor with REMAX Advanced Realtors out of Swickley and Robinson Township. I hang my hat in my office in Swickley. It's a cool place. I welcome you all to stop. 400 Broad Street if you're ever in the area. Not even have to make a phone call. Just stop in, and if you see my big white truck, that's right, a big white Dodge Ram truck. I shouldn't mention that on this show because I drive around Beaver so often. And I've gone, and it's funny because I go to these fast food places invariably on Thursday, So I'll go and I'll go through a drive-through, or I'll just go in for a second, and people will come up and just say the coolest stuff. Hey, you're that radio guy. I hear you on what's that, Beaver County Radio. I'm like, yeah, BVP. Everybody says BVP. They dropped the W. Why is that? It's like BVP. Yeah, but so cool. And I drive a white Dodge Ram, and if you see me parked around that building, I'm there. By all means, stop in and see me. Love to see you. And again, no assumptions made. If you don't need to buy or sell a house, that's fine. Stop in and see me. I love meeting everybody. I really do. Hey, Brenda's watching. To our Facebook Live family today, I think we have lost most of them because I'm pretty sure the signal has suffered tremendously. So I'm going to look into this week, maybe a hotspot or something, and try to shore this connection up so we don't have these reoccurring issues with Facebook Live. It's been such an integral part of the show. I don't want to lose you great people, so thanks for hanging in there. Brenda Pia's in there. Hey, Brenda, say hello to Matt for me. Missed him today. I know he can't be here every weekend. I'd like to get him here every weekend, but we can't, and I understand that. We're coming down to the end of the show. I was waiting for Frank Sparks from the Bridgewater Arts Festival. Sir Frank to call in, do a little promo. I offered him a promo right on my own show here, right? He didn't do it. Frank blew me off. How about that? Sir Frank. No, they're going to be there today from, I believe, is it 12 to 2? 12 to 2. Beaver County Radio will be broadcasting live at the Bridgewater Arts Festival. That sounds like a cool thing. I think I might head down after the show, actually. And Frank will be there. Is he going to be with Greg Benedetti as well?
Yes.
And they're spinning the prize wheel, right?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. That prize. Now, listen. You're on that prize wheel, right?
Supposedly,
yeah, you are.
I made him an offer.
So, okay, I don't want to talk about Mother's Day for a second, but guess that, I've been riding, Peterson here. I'm not on that wheel. And he's like, oh, well, the spaces, they're too small for you, Eric. We got to put you in the center. Yeah, okay, right. But, I'm not on that wheel. And I have to, if the Grand Poobah, Mark Peterson, is listening, I'm just asking him, am I on that wheel yet? Frank, are you out there? Am I on that wheel? Will you please send a little smoke signal and let me know? If not, I got to work on the Grand Poobah. I can get on that wheel. That's like a little honor to be on that prize wheel, man. I'm a little chafed I haven't been on there. I need to figure that out. But to our Facebook Live family who's hung in there great, to our radio listening audience here in the Broad area, the Beaver County Radio Services, thank you. I neglected to tell everybody that I'm sitting in the wonderful and very homey, I feel at home here, the home studio, or the homey studio, which is Lachina Drapery and Blind Factory Studio here at Beaver County Radio in the great city of Beaver Falls. Friends, before I split, how about that? Before I split today, because we're going to make way for Lincoln Learning, and then the one and only Mr. Bob Fry, who is actually with me today, is going to be on with Solid Gold Saturday. Before I split the scene, man, I just want to remind everybody out there to truly have a wonderful week. But before you enter your week, tomorrow's a very important day. And I want to wish my mother, Cheryl Ann McKenna, sitting in Coriopolis, probably listening on 1460 right now because she doesn't do the Facebook Live thing. I want to wish her the most wonderful and the most beautiful Mother's Day possible. She certainly deserves it. And, Mom, I love you dearly. And I encourage all of our listeners out there to think of their mom. Hopefully, for those of us who still have our mothers, never take them for granted. Show the love and respect that they deserve. And for those of us who no longer have our mother, please keep your mom, as I know you will. You all have my love. And keep the love and the spirit of your mom alive. And remember the things you were taught, And I've learned a lot in my life from my parents, I have to tell you, and it's served me well, and I hope I've been able to do that indeed with my own children, as I'm sure all of you have as well. But again, just a reminder, tomorrow is Mother's Day, and without a doubt, take care of Mom, right? I mean, that's the least we can do. They've sure taken care of us, and in my case, she's sure put up with a lot of stuff with me. Let me tell you, raising me and my younger brother was no bowl of cherries.
Sounds like a true confession here.
Yeah, it might be, but luckily I'm out of time. Friends, you've been listening to Your Personal Realtor with RE/MAX Advanced Realtor Eric McKenna. We're here every Saturday. Can't wait to see so many of you this week. I'll be out in that white Dodge van. Stop and see me. You can reach me at 412-613-4466. And, of course, we'll be here next week live and in person. And for all of you at the Beaver County Radio listening audience, thank you so much. You've been listening to 1230 WBVP in Chippewa and Beaver Falls and 1460 WMBA in Ambridge and Coriopolis. And once again, to all the mothers out there, enjoy your day tomorrow. You earned it. Let your family spoil you. All right? This is Eric McKenna, your personal realtor. Until next Saturday, God bless.
Thanks for listening to Your Personal Realtor, hosted by Eric McKenna with RE/MAX Advanced Realtors. Content and sponsorship is provided by Eric McKenna, and the show is brought to you by CallEric.com. Tune in next Saturday at 10:30 for another edition of Your Personal Realtor, hosted by Eric McKenna, right here on Beaver County Radio, 1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA.